Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to talk about nutrition and physical activity in adolescence. So let's go on. So in order to talk about nutrition, we got to talk about the big factor, obesity. So obesity causes about 150 billion a year for this country alone, just in medical causes. 1 in 3 adults and 1 in 6 children are affected by obesity. In the last decade, the number of adults that are considered overweight are 300 million compared to the past decade where it used to be 200 million. So about 100 million new people were considered to be overweight in the past decade. And then a surprising factor was that, obesity happens to be one of the leading causes of death besides cancer. So some of the things that can lead to like a cause of death. So health issues such as heart diseases. So these diseases can be heart attack, blocked arteries, high blood pressure, diabetes, or premature death. Some of these can be preventable or slash managed, such as diabetes, blood pressure, maybe like a heart attack if you survive it. So here are some tips. So strategies to preventing and managing obesity is like, just knowing your BMI or body mass index. This is a way of simply finding where you are as in body weight. So you can either find out whether you are underweight, at the right weight, overweight, or obese. This is more of a reference point. It's not very like specific or accurate. And then another way to like test where you're at is like a waist circumference screening. So basically, you just measure your waist, and then you would compare it to what the doctors would recommend is the right dose of where your waist should be. And then I'm moving on to the more nutrition portion of this aspect is like the choose my plate, which is basically a website where it just talks about the different food groups and whether or not you're going and eating those food groups on a daily basis. And then finally, just keep track of your physical activity. Make sure you're having your 60 minutes of physical activity every day. It doesn't have to be all at once, but just spread it out throughout the day. So some of the strategies can be, just if you have bike lanes or walk paths, take advantage of those. At least in Chico, we know we have those. So you can just take your bike and just ride along those paths. You don't even know you're like having exercise with that. Just go with it. Or if not, if there's a local pool or anything, at least for Chico, we have the rec, so you can usually just spend your time there. And just allow, if you have kids or anything or students, just make sure that they go out for sports. That's another way they can make sure that they're going for their 60 minutes of physical activity. And also they won't even realize it because that's something they actually want to do. They want to have fun, and they won't even have an idea that they're actually doing that. So also teach them about nutrition. Every once in a while, teach them about you know, eat more fruits. Eat more apples. Drink plenty of water before practice or something. It's always nice to just throw in those extra facts in there just to make sure they're doing right. So at least in this guidelines for school age children and adolescents, it says that ages 6 through 17 years old, there should be an hour of exercises of moderate to vigorous. So there's different ways that you can possibly do that. You can also do it aerobically, muscle strengthening, or bones strengthening. These ways are you can like just be more active. Have these different types of activities or daily exercises throughout the day, throughout the week. And then moving on to the my plate plan. This is a simple tool to use, especially at least for the if you want to be a very beginner. All you have to do is just use your height, weight, age, and duration of physical activity, and it would estimate the amount of calories you should be taking in that day. So for me, I should it says I should consume about 2,800 calories for a healthy body weight. But since for me, if I want to maintain this weight, I should be consuming 3,000 calories per day. But make sure that the consuming calories that you're taking in, you're also going to be burning those calories. It's all about balancing them out, and make sure those calories intakes are the good calories and not just the junk food, the high cholesterol foods, the sugar, the grams of sugar, because those also have calories. And then moving on to like a reflection or more like just making sure where you're at, like remind yourself, what are you eating? Are you eating enough fruit? Are you eating enough vegetables? Is there, do you make food at home, or are you eating takeout food? Like, are you eating out? Do you like get your food from school, or do you have enough money to make your own? All these like factors, we get it. We're all busy. Sometimes it's easiest way to just go get food outside of just make a quick trip to McDonald's or something. But always find ways like just meal prep. Meal prep is also a good way to save time and have food on hand that's healthy. So another important factor that I use, or another handout I think is important, is this. It's like it's a two-part handout. So the first portion of it is like a 7 healthy habits of wellness. So just make sure you're going over like your health, your physical activity at least 30 minutes. I know the recommended is 60, but 30 minutes could be good. It doesn't have to be day to day, but and then make sure you're reducing your sugar intake. You drink enough water throughout the day. Eat enough fruits and vegetables. You know, maybe take some time and go out in nature, take a walk. Connect. You know, make sure you're like just sleeping enough times. Make sure you have like 7 hours of sleep. Find time to be unplugged and just have meditate. Just get away from technology. Just think about just good things and think like make sure you're doing well. And the second portion is just mainly focusing on the physical aspect of it. So make sure what type of physical activity you're doing. Is it cardio? Is it strength and endurance, or is it just flexibility? And it also tells you like how many times a week do you do it? What days do you do it? Where's the intensity? What kind? Is it light? Is it moderate? Is it vigorous? And then finally it just says how long. Overall, and you just come back and make a reflection out of it. You can always make a plan, make a smart goal, make sure it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's reasonable, and it's time. You know, make small plans to make for the big plan. Don't plan too ahead for a short time. So you can't say I want to lose 30 pounds in 5 days. Like no, make it reasonable. Make I want to lose 30 pounds in the next you know 3 months or 4 months. Make it spread it out. Make small goals. And then finally, just make have a regrouping. Maybe if you're having this activity in class or something, have someone with you do it. Hold each other accountable. Pick a partner. Like choose the right decision. Choose the healthier food and healthier alternative rather than just eating out and not exercising. Make the smart choices. And then finally, these are just my resources that I've used, and thanks for listening.